Greetings and salutations, everyone. Conservative Video Dipper here. If you got a dip, pack a lip with me. Pardon my hoarse voice, but I'm going to teach you guys how to logically disprove the left's media narrative in a legality way that will not cause you any possible potential legal issues. So let's get going. First, we'll pack the lip. Number one, know your source. Do research. Find sources. Sources is always a good way to go by things. Because if you do your homework, do your research, and you've done enough research, left and right, and you understand, take the time to figure out what those sources mean and what does it really mean, and even go to direct horse's mouth. For example, Department of Justice or FBI, White House, CIA, whatever. You understand it. You understand the topic and conversation at hand. You're already well versatile in it. It's good to have these types of information ahead so that you don't come out looking like you're just a dum-dum, because you want to look smart. You want to make sure that you know what you're doing. You're not going to look bad. Just hello. You want to make sure that you have your information. And it's always a good thing to use information, especially directly, again, direct to from the horse's mouth. The White House, Department of Justice, FBI. Those are things that you can use to logically disprove the left's theories and the left's narrative. Number two, script. I will say this. For somebody that's been doing this for 4 freaking years, there's been a few times I've actually had to write scripts. Not very often, but a few times. Very rare. And you wouldn't know that I'm reading script sometimes because it's well rehearsed. It looks like I'm actually reading or saying it, and you're not going to catch it because it doesn't look like it's too well rehearsed, but it's polished up enough that y'all can understand it. Y'all know what I'm going to say or what I'm saying, and you know what I mean by it. And I'm using that script, whether it's written, typed, whatever. Use that to your advantage. Because when you're especially doing videos and you're trying to disprove the left's narrative, you want to make sure that you stay on topic. Sometimes it's hard to, because once you ad-lib and you're kind of trying to go back right on that track where you were and you're just totally lost and you don't have a script, sometimes it really can be a pain in the butt to do. So take it from somebody who's been doing this for 4 freaking years. It's not easy, but I can do it because I practice enough. I know what to do. But it's always good to do it for beginners. The other thing that number 3 that's important to know is wording. How you word things. Word things carefully. Whether you have to be objective, subjective, ambiguous, or whatever, you know how to word things. Because when you say things, sometimes it could be confusing. It could be taken as really misconstrued or unchecked by the left, because allegedly the left say they love the fact check, and they typically don't, because it's always the right that love the fact check the most. But the left do love the fact check, allegedly. So make sure that you word things carefully, especially if you're doing a video where you're trying to disprove CNN, MSNBC, ABC, the Young Turks, Midas Touch, whatever. you're trying to disprove them, you want to be careful with how you word things. Because when you word things, especially with your audience, you don't want to treat your audience like they're dum-dums. You want to know that information kind of the same way that you would want anyone else to tell you. You want them to be factual, correct, and you want to understand what is being said and not confusing in any sort of way where they would walk away like, that was just totally, completely a clusterfuck. I didn't get one bit of information out of that. What the fuck, Chuck? You want to be able to know what you're doing. And on top of that, when you're saying things, you want to be careful, not only because you don't want to confuse your audience, but you don't want to get into legality issues. Legality issues suck. And you don't want to have to call up your lawyer, Tom, and be like, Tom, I got a legal summons from such and such because of what I said. So you want to be careful. Sure, they're going to piss you off. Sure, the fake news pisses a lot of people off. That's kind of typically what they love to do. That's what they're known to do. They're known to do it the most. Piss people off because they are controversial. So if you want to be controversial just like them, be more honest and be careful with how you say things. Because if you say something wrong, they could possibly potentially take that out of context and or think that you're saying something facetious with malicious intent, supposedly. Then they would have a possible right to go at you legally for it. And you don't want to do it at all. You want to avoid it in the best way possible. So be careful with how you say things, because words do have meaning behind it, and words do have power. So be careful with how much power and enthusiasm or how you provide your information or your words out to the people, because you don't want to be that kind of person where people just laugh at you and make you look like a low cow. You don't want to be that kind of person. Because being a low cow is not cool. And trust me, I've never been a low cow, and never have and never will. And I've never gotten into legal issues because I'm careful with how I say certain things. The other thing is, when you're going against or trying to disprove their theories, be mindful that it may trigger you. So if you kind of feel like a subject that they're talking about may trigger you very, very badly, it's okay to say, I'm not going to do this today. I'm not feeling it. Trust me, it doesn't make you look like a pussy or a pansy or a flake. It just means that you have the adult mentality to understand that you just don't want to say certain things or possibly potentially say certain things because you're wound up tighter than a rubber band. And you need to walk away. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to understand certain times you should walk away. Don't feel guilty. Don't hold your head down saying, I'm a bitch. I'm a pussy. Don't do that. Because you're not. It just means you're smart enough to understand that you may allegedly say something possibly potentially bad that could possibly get you into legality issues, and you don't want to go there. So you're man enough or you're smart enough to walk away from that situation, especially when it comes to fake news media. They are easily able to piss off a lot of us. And again, that's what they do. They are very controversial idiots. That's why they get their name, fake news. The other important thing is to know what tier level they are on. Whether they are private figures, limited purpose figures, or public figures. Tier 1, 2 are typically the ones that you're okay to disprove their theories, but tier 3, you really can't touch them. Because tier 3 is kind of towards that private sector where they're just like YouTubers that think they're smart and they know political science and they have never taken a political science class a day in their life. So know which ones you are talking about. Tier 2 and 1 are typically your best ones to really be able to disprove, like CNN, MSNBC, ABC, The View, the Young Turks. They kind of are tier 3 and 2, but they're not really 1, but they're 2 to 3, at least, limited to. And make sure you understand that, because that is something that is a more important part of learning how to be good at being a speaker like me when it comes to talking things like this. There are times where, yes, even tier 3 people or limited purpose, or not even limited, but private figures that just have the right to talk about politics will open their mouth and sound like a total complete nitwit, and you want to argue against them, but you shouldn't, because that could possibly get you into legality issues. So know which ones you're really talking about and which ones you are dealing with, because 2 and 1 are the ones that more than likely they're on the public spectrum, so they won't have much of an issue with you. But if, as long as you're careful with how you say things, they won't give a fuck. The other big important thing is when you are trying to disprove their theories, don't use your feelings like they do. They love to do that. They love to use their fifis, or their feelings. I call them fifis. Tomato, tomato, same thing. Potato, potato. Don't use your fifis. Go back to the first part of this video. Use facts against them. Because they hate facts. They hate having to try to argue with you. They will argue with you or against you by saying that you are wrong, or the left or the right is wrong. The right is wrong because they get into their feelings. They will call us sensitive people because they will think we're sensitive. But we're not. If you prove to them that you aren't sensitive, but you use facts and not your feelings, and you're not going on the same level that they are stooping down to, you will more than likely come out of this a champ. You will come out of this looking like you just literally defeated King Kong. And you can hold your head high and say you did it proudly. Because you're not stooping to their level. You're not being ignorant like they are, or uneducated. You're using more logic and not using your feelings. You're not being childish, name calling, or saying things that possibly potentially could get you in legality issues in the first place. You're using logic and brain tactics. The other thing when it comes down to this is it's okay sometimes to take a break from these things, because it will get you burnt out, and in due time you will get burnt out with these things. Not just walking away, like I said, because it may piss you off, but walking away because you're burned out. It's okay. Just sometimes maybe do other content too. Have fun. It's about trying to, yes, be honest and have the integrity and the respect of not just your viewers, but those other content creators around you, by taking a break once in a while because you are burnt out. And the burnouts can be sometimes maybe a week. Take a week off. Enjoy your time with your family. Politics should not always be about just going at it direct head on, but doing it when you feel good enough to attack that situation and that topic with truth, integrity, dignity, respect, and legally being able to face it head on when you feel it. And if you feel like you are burned out and you've done it too much, don't worry. It's okay. It's a normal feeling. So anyway, that's it for you guys. Love you guys as always. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll catch you all later. Bye.